Gypsum products. Impression plaster, type 1. These impression materials are composed of plaster of Paris, beta hemihydrate, to which modifiers have been added to regulate the setting time and setting expansion. Impression plaster is rarely used any longer for making dental impressions because it has been replaced by less rigid materials such as the hydrocolloids and elastomers. Indications: making impressions for edentulous arches. Mucostatic impression. Contraindications: cannot be used in cases of severe undercuts. Advantage: it is a mucostatic impression material and it does not require any special armamentarium to manipulate. Disadvantage: it cannot be used to make multiple casts. Model plaster, type 2. This model plaster or laboratory type 2 plaster is now used principally to fill a flask used in denture construction when setting expansion is not critical and the strength is adequate according to the limits cited in the ADA specification or ISO standard. It is usually marketed in the natural white color, thus, contrasting with stones, which are generally colored. Indications: used for flasking, articulation, study casts. Contraindications: cannot be used for making master cast. Advantage: it does not require any special armamentarium to manipulate. Disadvantage: the powder particles are porous and irregular. Dental stone, type 3. Type 3 stone has a minimal 1-hour compressive strength of 20.7 megapascals, 3000 psi, but it does not exceed 34.5 megapascals, 5000 psi. It is intended for the construction of casts in the fabrication of full dentures to fit soft tissues. For this application, a slight setting expansion can be tolerated in casts that reproduce soft tissues, but not when teeth are involved. Type 3 stones are preferred for casts used to process dentures because the stone has enough strength for this purpose and the denture is easier to remove after processing. Indications: used for making casts for the fabrication of full dentures to fit soft tissues. Contraindications: cannot be used when teeth are involved as a slight setting expansion can occur. Advantages: it does not require any special armamentarium to manipulate. Disadvantages: there is a slight setting expansion that occurs in the resultant cast. Dental stone, high strength, type 4. The principal requisites for a die material are strength, hardness, and minimal setting expansion. To obtain these properties, modified alpha hemihydrate is used. The cube-shaped particles and the reduced surface area produce such properties without undue thickening of the mix. This material is also called die stone. A hard surface is necessary for a die stone because the tooth preparation is covered with wax and carved flush with the margins of the die. A sharp instrument is used for this purpose, therefore, the stone must be resistant to abrasion. Indications: used for making casts to fabricate wax patterns for restorations. Contraindications: it cannot be used as an investment material. Advantage: surface resists abrasion, whereas the core of the die is tough and less subject to accidental breakage. It does not require any special armamentarium to manipulate. Dental stone, high strength, high expansion, type 5. This gypsum product exhibits an even higher compressive strength than the type 4 dental stone. The improved strength is attained by making it possible to lower the width-P ratio even further than that used for type 4 stone. In addition, the setting expansion has been increased from a maximum of 0.10% to 0.30%. The rationale for increasing setting expansion is that certain newer alloys, such as base metal, have a greater casting shrinkage than do the traditional noble metal alloys. Thus, higher expansion is required in the stone die to aid in compensating for the alloy solidification shrinkage. The use of a type 5 stone may also be indicated when the expansion achieved during the fabrication of cast crowns is inadequate. Indications: used as an investment material. Contraindications: cannot be used for producing dies for inlays and onlays since the higher expansion may lead to an unacceptably tight fit. Advantages: higher expansion is required in the stone die to aid in compensating for the alloy solidification shrinkage. Disadvantage: cannot be used as an investment material for all alloys. It requires a special instrument for manipulation, vacuum mixer.